Good evening, everyone. I'm Georgia Davis, and welcome to AZ Illustrated Nature. Tonight, we'll tell you about a cool getaway close to Tucson, known for its biological diversity and opportunities for discovery. Learn about mountain lions in our region, see some beautiful flowers in our nearby deserts, and find out about prairie dogs in the Southwest. But first, here's a look at today's top stories.
Governor Jan Brewer is turning up the pressure on the legislature to approve her Medicaid expansion plan. Brewer held another rally today at the state capitol to push for the expansion that would give health insurance to 300,000 poor Arizonans. The proposal has been hung up in the legislature, where many of Brewer's fellow Republicans are opposed to it because of its costs. Opponents held a counter rally at the Capitol to push lawmakers to not accept Brewer's recommendation. Her plan is not included in the proposed budget, making its way through the legislative process. Lawmakers held their first set of hearings on budget bills in the Senate Appropriations Committee today. Members of the Senate Republican leadership say they plan an all-day session Thursday to work through budget details. The budget must be approved by the start of the fiscal year, July 1st. The Department of Defense has announced it will conduct civilian furloughs to meet the demands of the federal budget cuts. The announcement calls for up to 11 unpaid days off for civilian defense employees starting July 8th and going through the end of the fiscal year, September 30th. Congressman Ron Barber says the cuts show Congress failed to balance the budget, and civilian defense employees will now take what amounts to a 20% pay cut for 3 months. He is calling on Congress to reverse the across-the-board budget cuts, known as sequestration, and make more appropriate targeted cuts to the federal budget. A Rocky Mountain poll out this week shows 56% of those surveyed say they are in favor of allowing people to have small amounts of marijuana for personal use. Those who identify as independent in Arizona strongly support the subject of legalizing marijuana, with 72% saying they support it. More than half of Arizona Democrats support it, and 41% of registered Republicans polled say they support legalizing small amounts of marijuana. The poll also says more than half of this state's residents support allowing gay marriage. Support is even greater among women, Hispanics, and Democrats. And that's a look at today's news.
Many of you will be craving cooler temperatures once our intense summer is underway, and a good option nearby is to take a drive to one of dozens of sky islands in our region. Scientists say sky islands are unique oases with intriguing plant and animal life. Tonight, we take you to an exhibit in air-conditioned comfort where you can learn much more about these special places.
My name is Pacifica Sommers. I'm an ecology and evolutionary biology PhD candidate. I think my very first week here in Arizona, I drove up to the top of Mount Lemmon to go hiking, and I've been rock climbing all over the mountain since. I think some of the most exciting things for me are the really basic things that you notice that just never, ever, ever get old. Like you're driving up the Mount Lemmon highway, and you turn a corner and the saguaros are gone. And you turn another corner and you're in a pine forest. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about that. I always point it out the window to students as we're driving up the mountain, all right, everybody ready, hold your breath, and we're now in the forest. It's dramatic, it's cool. That transition is so biologically fascinating, has inspired so much ecology and evolutionary biology research, and is so much fun to just experience over and over. I just never get sick of that.
I'm Shipherd. I work with the Flandreau Science Center here at the University of Arizona, and I'm the digital media producer. So I help produce exhibits and do videos for exhibits.
Can you take it out?
This exhibit is called Exploring Sky Islands. We live in the Sky Islands region. Not everybody knows that we call the mountains around us here in Tucson Sky Islands, and we call them Sky Islands because they rise up above a desert sea and host a diversity of plant and animal life that doesn't exist in the desert. That's because the higher you go, the cooler it gets and the wetter it gets. So it provides a habitat for all kinds of different species. One of our exhibits here is is called Build Your Own Hoodoo, and the kids love this. And if you drive up the Mount Lemmon Highway, you'll see lots of hoodoos. And a hoodoo is a geological formation where different layers of rock are harder or softer than other layers of rock. So over millions of years, over all that time, as it erodes, both the wind and the water will erode it. You'll get these formations where it looks like rocks that have been stacked up on top of each other by a giant. But in fact, that's a process of erosion. And so this exhibit is fun for kids to interact with, but it's also a way to learn about those erosional geologic processes. So the way they do it, they start grabbing rocks, and these are foam rocks so they don't hurt anybody. One by one, put your hoodoo together. And then, and any of the kids will tell you, once you've built your hoodoo, you get to knock it over. We're very lucky to live in this Sky Islands region, and this exhibit, Exploring Sky Islands, tells all about the science, the geology, the ecology, the biology of the Sky Islands region. Here in Tucson, in the Tucson Basin, we're surrounded by mountains, and 3 of those mountain chains are Sky Islands. The Catalinas, most prominently with Mount Lemmon, the Rincons to the east, and the Santa Rita Mountains to the south. The Tucson Mountains, as beautiful as they are not called Sky Islands because they're not quite high enough to get up there in elevation where the habitat changes, where the climate changes.
Such a unique environment to go up to the Sky Islands. If this exhibit provides people with more context or the inspiration to get out and see the Sky Islands and explore them and understand a little bit more about them for themselves, then I think it's a huge success. I learned a lot of things actually about the geology and some of the biology of the Sky Islands from walking around in here. I think it's a great exhibit with a lot of fun and interactive things to do that should inspire people to go out and see how they can interact with the actual nature.
Here we have our rockfall exhibit, and it teaches kids about erosion and the geology of erosion, and that's how all the debris comes down from the mountains and fills our basins, so we get these big flat valleys in between the mountain ranges. But it's also fun to do. So you start out by shooting some hoops, and you get these rocks into the hopper up there at the top. A few more. And once you got it loaded up, then you get to pull the cord, rockfall.
The University of Arizona Sky School is a new program that I'm helping to develop. It's a residential science school based at the summit of Mount Lemmon at the Mount Lemmon Sky Center observatories in the dormitories there. So students have an immersive residential experience with a survey not only of the Sky Island system, but workshops with the University of Arizona faculty, graduate students, and for 4-day programs, they have a chance to do their own research up there, being mentored by a graduate student. Ooh, that one is the owl.
I think a lot of us who live in this region don't realize how special it is, and it's really fascinating once you start to dig into the science to discover what an incredible place we live in. This is our home, and the environment that surrounds us is unique in the world. A lot of people don't know that this is the only place in the world where mountain lions, jaguars, ocelots, and bobcats all exist in the same environment. It's kind of a nexus of a lot of different regions coming together here in our Sky Islands.
As we just heard in our previous story, one of the many unique things about the Sky Islands is that you can find 4 different types of wildcats sharing some habitats. They're jaguars, mountain lions, bobcats, and ocelots. Ashwin Naidu joins us now to tell us more about some of the research he's conducting with mountain lions and bobcats. Naidu is a doctoral candidate in the School of Natural Resources and the Environment at the University of Arizona. So thank you for coming in and joining us. So as you just said, and as we heard earlier in the show, there are 4 different wildcats all kind of inhabiting some of the same areas. So how unique is that?
Well, that is very unique because rarely do you find species diversity on wildcats in such a small area. So in Arizona, we're really lucky to have mountain lions and bobcats in our backyards, but not just mountain lions and bobcats, but also recent sightings of jaguars and ocelots have added to the diversity of wildcat species. And I think that this diversity of wildcats, 4 species, is quite rare in a lot of other parts of the world. Although there are 36 species of wildcats, so it's also important to consider that there are many other areas in the world that have this amount of diversity.
Well, tell me a little bit about your research. So you're looking at 2 wildcats in particular?
Yes. Currently, I am studying mountain lions and bobcats. Previously, about 5 years ago in India, I was studying leopards and tigers.
So what kinds of things are you looking for? And you're interested in the genetics, correct?
Yes, I mainly apply genetics, non-invasive genetics for wildlife conservation, particularly wildcat conservation. In India, we use non-invasive genetics, which is basically extracting DNA from fecal samples or hair or any sample that has been left behind by wildcats and applying information from genetic data for conservation of the cat species. And it's the same thing here in Arizona with mountain lions and bobcats. We've been collecting fecal samples, or scat, as you would say, in the carnivore world, and analyzing DNA from scats to apply data for management of these wild felids.
Okay, so before this interview, you said to our producer on the show that scat is like a USB drive. So what do you mean by that?
Oh no, I was calling scat as my USP.
USP.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got that wrong, but tell me what you mean by that.
So what I mean by that is scat or poop is a gold mine. And it's a gold mine of information because you get to know from DNA from scat, you can tell what species the scat is from, how many individuals there are in a particular area when you actually fingerprint the DNA, or what we call genotyping DNA. You can also tell what the animal ate or what the individual ate by opening up the scat sample and pulling out the prey items. And you can also tell the sex of the individual, whether it's male or female. So you can extract a whole bunch of information by analyzing DNA sequences from scat samples, or fingerprinting DNA, or genotyping DNA from scat samples.
Give me a sense of how some of this data is then used.
So, for example, you want to know how many individuals there are in a particular area, for a wildlife reserve or a sanctuary or a national park. It's often difficult to go and count how many individuals there are, and especially if cats like mountain lions that do not have many markings on their body, it's very hard to differentiate between individuals. And previously, or even now, a lot of methods like camera trapping are being used to detect individuals and come to a population estimate or number of individuals in an area. For example, tigers have unique stripes. Each individual tiger has a unique stripe pattern, and you can identify individuals. Whereas with mountain lions, it gets very difficult when you do not have those stripes. So what do you have? You have poop. So when you go out there and collect scat samples, you are able to genotype and identify individuals from the scat samples. And let's say you collected 50 scat samples and you've identified 10 individuals. Then you go out there and collect another 50 scat samples and you identified 11 individuals. So we're looking at the unique genotypes. So over a certain period of time, if you collect 100 scat samples or 150, you would come up to a population size estimate of the area. So that's one of the things we can do.
One of many uses, I guess.
One of many uses.
So you mentioned earlier you're from India, you've done research there, you're going to be going back. How is this research going to help you there?
Well, I've learned a lot in the last 5 years on the use of genetic techniques for conservation, and not just that, but also a lot of interdisciplinary and collaborative interactions with my peers, particularly with the use of geographic information systems, GIS, and also a little bit of computer science, all of these fields. It's just going to be used for research and conservation of lesser studied cats like rusty spotted cats, fishing cats, jungle cats, and other wildcat species like tigers and leopards, obviously.
All right, so it's techniques, it's interpersonal skills, it's actual data, it's all of that you're taking home with you?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm not going to lose a connection from here to here because I've also built a lot of relationships in the last 5 years over here. So I'll be working here at the University of Arizona Wildcat Center.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
The Obama administration was back on the defensive today as Attorney General Eric Holder faced questions on Capitol Hill over the IRS's targeting of conservative groups and the secret seizure of the AP's phone records.
We follow up with a closer look at the IRS's independence and new developments on the story.
Then Margaret Warner reports on more troubling allegations of sexual assaults in the military as leaders charged with protecting victims are accused of abuse.
Spencer Michaels has the story of a push by the San Francisco police to increase the use of surveillance cameras in the city in the wake of the Boston bombings.
Everybody likes video. Juries like video, investigators like video, prosecutors like video, and I think in looking at the Boston Marathon, they made that case off of video.
Judy Woodruff examines a new $100 million push to help 100 cities weather disasters, both natural and man-made.
So much of climate change that's already occurred is leading to these huge shocks, huge storms, wind, hurricanes, and cities are going to have to adapt to that.
And we close with the Angelina effect, why women choose surgery even before a cancer diagnosis, and the broader medical decisions faced by those at highest risk.
That's all I had on tonight's NewsHour.
From Netflix to your cell phone, TV networks have more competition than ever, but they still have the edge.
Broadcast networks still aggregate eyeballs, still have the biggest audiences, still have live sports such as the Super Bowl.
I'm David Green, reporter Kim Masters on how networks hope to get your attention this fall on the next Morning Edition from NPR News.
The Sonoran Desert is known for its amazing diversity of plant and animal life, and you don't have to go very far to enjoy some of the most brilliant examples. Joining us to talk about some of the wildflowers you can find in the Sabino Canyon area, we have a couple of guests. Fred Fisher is a volunteer with the United States Forest Service, and Heide Schewel is a public affairs officer with the Coronado National Forest. And so, Fred, let's go ahead and come to you first because you've been taking photographs for some time now. Tell me about some of the flowers that you've seen.
Well, the first one we'll take a look at is the ocotillo, which is currently in bloom around the area. It is not a true cactus, but certainly looks like one. And these brilliant orange flowers are pretty showy. Next one is the desert rock pea, which we find in rocky areas, of course. And it's a smaller flower and one that you might not notice just walking down the trail. The narrow-leaf tansy aster is so named because of its narrow leaf, which is a way a plant has to adapt to an arid climate. Thurber's desert honeysuckle is also one that's found in awash, more wet areas, and quite a pretty flower, I think, when you take a look at it.
So, well, Fred, these are flowers, the pictures that you have taken for your collection, but you're not just holding them in your home. You're actually sharing these with the public.
Yes, we're put together a show that we showed for the first time last Friday, and we'll work on that over the summer and start showing it regularly next fall when the new season begins.
Okay, well, Heidi, so let's talk about Sabino Canyon and a little bit of the diversity there, because I don't know if wildflowers is exactly what people think about first when they think about going to visit the canyon.
Well, people come to the canyon for a lot of reasons, and actually there's a lot of biological diversity there, both in the forms of plants and animals. And a lot of folks will think about, speaking of the biological communities, streamside and desert, and there's really more going on there than that. Of course, we have the riparian community that has the big-leafed trees because that's what grows along the stream, and the water can support those trees, like the sycamores and the cottonwoods and the ash. And then moving off, we get into the Sonoran Desert scrub, where we see the mesquites and the palo verdes, the cacti, the beryl, sequoias, prickly pears, and then moving up, we'll get into the semi-desert grassland, where we'll see some century plants and sotals and ocotillos. And then we even have a little bit of oak woodland where there are some emery oaks and Mexican blue oaks up at the higher parts of Sabino Canyon. So there's a lot of diversity there as far as the plants go.
Wow, sounds like it. So, well, then let's go back to you, Fred, and talk about some more of that diversity, because you've kind of scoured this whole area to get these images.
Yeah, there are hundreds of flowers out there, and I have only scratched the surface. The fairy duster is one of our prettiest ones. It's a flower that doesn't have any petals, and that's its way of dealing with the arid climate, lack of water. The desert mariposa is probably everybody's favorite, bright orange. There are also white ones out there. In the cactus family, the hedgehog, I think, is the most brilliant, nice, bright fuchsia color. In this case, a colony of hedgehogs. And then a little more delicate flower, the wild heliotrope, sometimes called the blue phacelia, which I caught in a rainy day. Then we go on to the Palo Verde, the Mexican Palo Verde flower. And if this flower deals with arid conditions by not having leaves at all, or very, very small leaves, and providing a bark that has chlorophyll in it to assist with the photosynthesis operation.
Explaining the green color in the bark, of
Yes.
course. So what is it that drives you to do this? What's your motivation?
Oh, hobby and love of color and love of the outdoors. It's just a great thing to keep me busy in my retirement, taking pictures, and my volunteer work at the visitor center is very fulfilling for me.
It sounds like it. Sounds like we would all love to be doing this. So, but of course, you're also capturing the diversity in this area that I guess is also very unique in terms of the Sky Island habitats. Or
well, actually, yeah, the Coronado is situated in a really interesting kind of way. We are in a kind of a transition zone between two deserts, the Sonoran Desert and the Chihuahuan Desert, and also in a transition between two mountain ranges, the Rocky Mountains and the Sierra Madre. So we have plant and animal species from both deserts and both mountain ranges living here. So that brings a real richness of plant and animal life. And also the way we're situated, we're kind of known as the Sky Islands National Forest as well. And that is because on the Coronado, there are 12 what we call Sky Island mountain ranges, and they rise from a sea of Sonoran Desert vegetation or grassland, and then up, and we'll go through different vegetation zones until up at the top of some of the mountain peaks, we're going to be in mixed conifer forest or even spruce fir forest on one of the mountain ranges. So you'll go through these vegetative zones, and it's vegetatively equivalent to driving from Mexico to Canada. So you'll see a lot of different things, and you will end up, for example, an hour from Tucson, and you're in pine trees, and it's nice and cool and beautiful, and snow in the winter, so that's just really great.
Yeah, it's incredible. All right, well, thank you so much, both of you, for joining us to tell us about this.
You bet.
Welcome.
Arizona has two types of prairie dogs, Gunnisons in the north and the black-tailed in the south. The black-tailed prairie dog, one of 5 types that lives in the United States, has the widest range. Historically, it was found in western North America from Canada to Mexico. However, for several decades, black-tailed prairie dogs have been missing from the local landscape. This story is produced by Tom Gillespie.
In the early 1900s, they started a poison campaign to get rid of prairie dogs. They were seen as competition for a lot of livestock and ranching and communities and things like that. So there was actually participation by the federal government to help poison and eradicate the prairie dog. Last prairie dog was seen in 1961 here in Arizona.
Arizona was the only state completely successful in the eradication effort. The absence of the prairie dogs, prey for many predator species, has resulted in repercussions across the landscape. The numerous burrows in the prairie dog colonies provide homes to many reptiles, and the blacktail's constant digging helps grasses grow better. Changing courses in the 1970s, the Arizona Game and Fish Department started looking at reintroducing the prairie dogs. Recently, some blacktails were brought back to southern Arizona.
Many people have described prairie dogs as a keystone species, a species that through its burrows and its excavations and the way that it forages and keeps shrubs down and keeps grass cover down, that they have this very important impact on the system that they're part of.
Let's stick them over here.
To document the blacktail's role as a keystone species requires research. Hands-on research.
In this case, we knew that we wanted to be able to follow individuals over multiple years. As a result, we needed a permanent kind of marking technique. So we used pit tags.
So he's pit tagged, and it's 1306-109.
These passive integrative transponders, the chips that we often put in our dogs and cats, and that allows us to follow individuals over time in hand. And then for the short term, we use a fur dye.
We mark them so we can tell apart individuals from each other, and that way we can get accurate counts of the population without recounting the same individual. And we can also tell who's interacting with who, if it's male or female, juvenile or adult, and other details. The first 2 seasons were just behavior and population trends with population change and reproductive success. And these next 2 years I'm shifting focus to answer the keystone species question, whether these species act as that keystone species after they're translocated.
Prairie dogs were transferred to their new location on the Bureau of Land Management's Las Ciénegas National Conservation Area, 45 miles southeast of Tucson, in 2008.
We've had a lot of unexpected challenges. You know, everyone expected when we put these prairie dogs out that they would just spread like wildfire, because that's what they do. And, you know, this is 5 years later, and none of the colonies have expanded beyond what we've cleared for them. We also started this reestablishment project in the middle of a drought, and the drought has been really tough. We also have started doing a supplemental feeding during these dry seasons. When we're not getting those winter rains, we are putting an alfalfa pellet out, and it works in actually 2 ways. It keeps them close to their burrows, so we're not getting the predation that we were seeing when there's no forage for them. They would go out in the tall grasses and get picked off. And also healthier prairie dogs, they're gonna have more offspring. 2 years ago, we had 12 pups come above ground out of our 3 colonies that we had, and only 1 survived. And last year, due to the supplemental feeding, we had 137 babies come up. So it's huge, the difference that supplemental feeding makes.
Some have acquired an appetite for the tasty bait used to lure the prairie dogs into the research trap. The creamy, not crunchy peanut butter works too well sometimes.
Several of them that realize that the traps are associated with food. So sometimes even after you let them go, 5 minutes later, they're in another trap. So it can be a little bit challenging when you're trying to catch one and one keeps coming from across the colony to get the bait. It's really fun to let go.
You do grow attached. I mean, I see these things come from start to finish, and every year when we come out here and do this, you know, you start to recognize certain individuals and the ones that are trap happy, and so yeah, you do grow attached. And I don't know if it's specifically prairie dogs themselves or if it's just animals in general, but I do really like working with the prairie dogs.
Go ahead.
That's our show for tonight. To post a comment on any of these stories or to keep up with the latest news, go online to our website, azpm.org. I'm Georgia Davis. Thanks for watching.